Good morning, ladies and gents. It's Therunningmanspeaks, right back at you once again. I was with you guys on Monday and on Wednesday, and it's Friday. And Monday I started out with Therunningmanspeaks, where that came from, the label, the brand. Wednesday I went a little deeper as to the history of the Running Man Speaks. And today I'm going to go into the why. Why did you stop running? Why did you change your life back? For what? Why didn't you just continue to do what you was doing? Live your life doing you. Well, first of all, gents, and I'm speaking to the gents right now, males, men. Unfortunately, we have a tendency to hide all of our pain and our emotion. We just kind of put it in our back pocket like a wallet. Keep it moving. And in different instances, those emotions pop up kind of out of nowhere. Your wife, your girlfriend, your homeboy might, what's his problem? That's kind of out of his character. But it's because those emotions, those circumstances, those situations, you just put them in your back pocket and you kept them moving. But you didn't tend to those situations and those emotions and those circumstances. So they still there. They haven't gone anywhere. They sit in that back pocket nice and warm. And every time you sit down in the seat, you feel something. You feel that wallet. You know something is there. Although you have continued forward to move on with the rest of your life, you still know something in that back pocket because you can feel it. So the first thing we need to do, men, and I'm speaking directly to men right now, we have to acknowledge our pain, the source of our pain, the source of our sin. What is it? What is it that's blindfolding us or blocking us from walking forward? What is that pain? We have to know it, acknowledge it, and see it. Once we do that, you recognize your pain, you know what it is, you see it, then you can begin to deal with that pain. Because all it's doing is blocking you from moving forward. So, me, myself, my situation, my pain that I'm just now starting to deal with in my 40s was the void of my father. Yes, growing up, when I was a little shorty, dad was in the house, physically. But he wasn't there emotionally. He wasn't there to pass on the blueprint to me. He wasn't there to build the foundation of what a man is supposed to be. I didn't get it verbally, nor did I get a physical layout. And actually what I got was something negative. I got a negative layout. I've seen domestic abuse in my house. I seen going to jail. I seen drinking. I seen drugs. I seen infidelity. I seen the lack of fatherhood or the lack of a parent in the household. So as I began to get older, grow up, I knew in my mind that I did not want to emulate what was in my household as far as what a man is concerned. So as I got older, I said, man, I don't want to be like my dad. And not to say I'm not blaming any of my actions on my father, but what I saw in my household, I did not want that for myself nor for my family. So what I did was I went to the church. I ran to the church and I put all my strength and my livelihood and everything that I had within me inside the church. Everything that I did, everything that I spoke was church related. church activities, going to church, church choir, leading the youth out in whatever activity there was. I was in it. I'll do it. I got it. What you need? Me. Me. And in doing that, I was hiding behind my pain. I was using the church and the church activities to disguise my pain. And in doing that so many years, I actually believed that I didn't have any more pain as far as my father was concerned, as far as who I didn't want to be like. My father possessed some good qualities, don't get me wrong. Funny dude, charismatic, clean, fresh, awesome attitude when he's with his friends, just the funny dude, the life of the party. But anytime you have positive and negative, you could do 1,000 positive things, but you do 2 negative things, and that's what's going to stand out to people. So with my father, this is what stood out, the negative things that I saw with my own 2 eyes. So putting my all in church, hiding all the pain that I went through as far as a child and what I saw with my father, these things started to pop up. They started to show in my adulthood. Some of these things are showing now, and I'm in my 40s. So as much as I didn't want to be like my father, and I ran to the church to try to hide these things, as much as I ran, these things showed up in my life anyway. Dealing with women, thinking that sleeping with a quantity of women will soothe my soul. It didn't. Thinking that drinking and partying would soothe my soul. It didn't. Thinking that being the popular dude, the life of the party, the funny guy, would soothe my soul. It didn't. I got older, still taking the mentality of the fact that my dad's not in my life. It don't bother me. I'm a man. I don't need him. I'm a man. Putting it in my back pocket. Putting it in my back pocket. That don't bother me. When in essence, it really did. That void really bothered me. But I kept telling myself, and even having the nerve to tell other people, yeah, my dad wasn't there, but ain't no biggie. It's all good. My mom did her thing. That's what I verbalized, but that's not what was inside of me. And so the things that I was avoiding actually start to manifest in my life. And like I said, from being with multiple women to partying to drinking to doing things that were outside of my character, and they happened later on in my life because I was a late bloomer. Most of the time when you're young, teenager, in college, these things tend to play out in your life. But that was the time that I was still trying to be this Bible thumper, and I want to be the example to everybody that you can walk according to God's will wholeheartedly. You don't need distractions. You don't need to drink. You don't need to have sex. If you put your all into God, that's who I was. That's who I wanted to represent. But all of it wasn't sincere because I was using it as a blanket to hide my insecurities and hide the things that I didn't want to deal with in my life. So naturally, they showed up as an older gentleman. And there's some of them are still here. So my point in this is going all the way back to Therunningmanspeaks. Yes, I ran from the responsibility of the church. Yes, I ran from my problems with my father. But there comes a time when you have to deal with those things, because what they'll do, they'll create a block for the rest of your life. And that's exactly what happened to me. With me, number one, hiding in my wallet. Number two, creating a block for my future. So all this time that I've been working, and I've been thinking that, you know, Devon, you a good dude. You a good dude. But there are things that manifested in my life because I didn't deal with my pain. And we have to be real as men. We're taught to, man, stop crying. Stop complaining. Stop acting like a little baby. Stop being a punk. You whine too much. You acting like a little girl. We're taught these things as men. Women, they're taught to get those feelings out. Cry, to be emotional, to communicate those feelings. And men, we're taught just the exact opposite. So I want to express to the fellas, any pain that you're dealing with, you have to recognize it. Otherwise, it's going to spiral. Some will go out of control, and some will just create a hindrance in your life. So getting back to me, since I was doing all these things, which were contrary to my true character, but a manifestation of my father, I had to get to the point to where, okay, what's really going on, Devon? What's really the problem? Because you're acting out of character. And you're too old for this. You have children. You're in your second marriage. But I had to come to grips of the first time that I was married, I was not faithful to my wife because I was not happy as far as me as a person. On the outside, it was all good. I played the part. I was the part. I looked good. I was clean. I was fresh. I went to church. I had a good job. But inside, I was still dealing with the void in my life. And so the void in my life manifested in cheating on my wife, my first wife. Infidelity was a huge thing. And so I hurt that woman, which I had to apologize and come to grips that I hurt somebody else due to the pain in my life. Not an excuse, not a justification. So through the cheating, the infidelity, the partying, the drinking, which once again was contrary to my true character, but I was hiding. And as men, that's what we do. We hide because we feel like we got to be the strong support. We got to be the man. And no matter what happens to us, we can't cry. We can't mope. Who are we going to tell about our pain? Nobody cares because you a man. Get it together, bruh. You a man. So I was dealing with those things and I felt like I had to keep that inside. But God was dealing with me the whole time. These whole 20 years, he was dealing with me. Because that wallet that I was sitting on, I was never comfortable in what I was doing. But if you didn't know me, and there were a few people who really know me, if you didn't know me, you would thought that's who I am. But that's not who I was. I was fronting. I wasn't keeping it real. I wasn't keeping my true character. And that's what a lot of us men are doing. And I'm here to tell you, bruh, you don't have to front. You too can keep it real once you acknowledge where your pain is coming from. Just recently, I had a conversation with my father, and he told